Good afternoon. This is MemphisWeather.net meteorologist Erik Proseus. It is about 4:30 on Sunday afternoon, and I wanted to take a couple of minutes of your time, if you choose here to watch, to give you an update on what we're expecting for tomorrow. That's Monday, Cyber Monday, November 28th, for the weather episode that we're expecting here in the Mid-South. Another pretty strong weather system going to be moving through the area tomorrow. We had a pretty decent system back a week ago Friday. It was the 18th of November. As we have been in a drought for a few months, and the rain has kind of been hit and miss and very far and few between. But we kind of got a wake-up call back a week ago Friday. It was a pretty major system moved through. A little bit of a surprise with some pretty strong wind gusts, a little bit of wind damage, and definitely some power outages, and that kind of just reminded us that secondary severe weather season does last from November into early December, and we, as we mentioned on social media and in the blogs and so forth, we are kind of have gone through a pattern shift where things are starting to change. Looks like for many of us, that means that the drought conditions we've been experiencing are going to finally get some relief here with a pretty good amount of rain, a few different weather systems over the next couple of weeks or so, and definitely some cooler temperatures. But I want to spend a little bit more time directly on tomorrow's potential severe weather and definite heavy rain event that we're going to experience tomorrow. So we're going to, without further ado, flip over first. The way we're going to go through this is just show you some of the high-level information, kind of give you the overview so that you can, if you don't want all the nitty-gritty details, you can stop at that point. But I want to go through first just some of the high-level things, what to expect tomorrow. Then we'll go through a few more of the details and then talk a little bit about the forecast going forward from there. So first of all, I want to make sure that I remind you all that we do have the mobile apps, the MemphisWeather.net mobile app for Android and iOS. You can get your details through the app. Of course, the current radar and everything, which you'll definitely want to have tomorrow as you're heading out to work or school in the morning and again in the afternoon for sure. You can get severe weather notifications there through Stormwatch Plus, and be sure to tune in to watch us on social media as well. You'll get the latest details on our Facebook and Twitter pages as this event is in progress. Without further ado, then, let's go right into what we're expecting here over the next 24 hours or so. We're going to start off with this. This is the total rainfall graphic expected through about 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. And so we're talking about a daytime event tomorrow. And this is from the National Weather Service. And you see there is a corridor of very heavy rainfall expected right along the lower to mid-Mississippi River Valley region, centered on the Mid-South. The bullseye that they have painted just southwest of Memphis is 2.90 inches, and a good part of the area, most of the metro, can tomorrow expect a very heavy rain event for sure, looking at a very good likelihood of 2 inches across most of the area, and we could see some higher rainfall totals, as this indicates, maybe as much as 3 inches in some places, but definitely going to be a heavy rainfall event. For the severe weather threat, this is the Storm Prediction Center outlook for tomorrow, and this covers the period after 6 a.m. in the morning through 6 a.m. Tuesday morning, but the main threat is during the daytime, afternoon, into early evening hours tomorrow night. You can see that there is a marginal risk of severe weather that is basically north of I-40 across the Mid-South, and for areas of North Mississippi right up to Memphis and across southern Arkansas, a slight risk. That is the Category 2 out of 5. And it looks like the better chance of severe weather is going to be down over Louisiana in this enhanced risk area. That's Category 3. So marginal risk, which means that we could see a few severe storms in the area for a good part of the Mid-South. Everybody down in North Mississippi, a slightly more enhanced outlook. I shouldn't use the term enhanced, a slightly higher outlook for your area, Category 2, slight risk for areas south of I-40, areas from Memphis south. Again, that is primarily going to be in our area during the afternoon hours tomorrow. Here's a look at our impact graphic that I will be posting to social media here after we get this video recorded, and this shows you again that slight risk and marginal risk areas. Basically what we have tomorrow is a low pressure system that's going to be a pretty strong one that's going to be moving up into the upper plains, a secondary low pressure system moving into and just northwest of the Mid-South. It'll kind of be cutting across Arkansas to the northeast, moving up into southern Illinois, and that's going to enhance our chances of heavy rainfall and potential for a few strong storms during the day tomorrow. The main threat is going to be those high winds. actually the very heavy rain and wind gusts throughout the day tomorrow. Looks like those wind gusts will be sustained throughout the day. The sustained winds in the 20-25 mile an hour range, and we could see some gusts during the afternoon, even just in rain without thunderstorms, of 30 to 40 miles an hour. Definitely going to be a day that you want to consider making sure that if you've got your outdoor decorations out or any loose objects outside, that you have those secured before you leave work in the morning. And if we get a few strong storms along a expected narrow squall line that moves through here late in the afternoon, probably in the 3 to 5 p.m. time frame, we could see some gusts to 60 miles an hour in those stronger storms. Very heavy rain will definitely produce some ponding on areas that are normally prone to seeing high water, around areas like interstate off-ramps and so forth. Definitely could see some ponding in those areas, and maybe some sporadic flash flooding as well, just because of the rainfall rates that we're expecting. Perhaps as much as an inch an hour over half an hour to an hour time frames, maybe several of those during the day tomorrow. We cannot rule out the threat of an isolated tornado tomorrow. The one thing that we definitely are working with here is very strong winds, not only at the surface but all the way aloft. I'll show you some more details on that in a few minutes. But it looks like those winds at 3,000 to 4,000 feet are going to be moving at 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. And definitely the strong winds at the surface as well. So we cannot rule out an isolated tornado. The best threat for that, or the highest threat for that, is going to be south of Memphis in this slight risk area, and even further south where the enhanced risk area was we showed earlier in Louisiana. But definitely want to keep that in the back of your mind tomorrow during the afternoon hours. So make sure that you have your loose objects secured. Be ready for very heavy rainfall rates during the day tomorrow, particularly in the afternoon, and you can keep up with us through our mobile apps and of course on social media. I'm going to move into a few more of the details now, and that hopefully gives you kind of a good overview. This will take just a couple of minutes to work through some of these details that we're going to go through here. So first of all, this is the timing, and I'm going to use the high-res NAM model. This is a North American model generated here in the United States, and it does give us hourly data out to 36 hours and seems to have a pretty good handle on things. So we're starting off here by looking at about 6 o'clock, and what I'm showing you is basically future radar. So this is reflectivity going out hour by hour as we go into the overnight hours. And I scan through here. This is about midnight, so we're starting to see maybe a slight chance of some light rain. The values on here that are in the light green are very, very light. Some of this may not even be reaching the ground, but we could start to see the possibility of some sprinkles to a light shower as we go into the overnight hours. As we head towards the morning time, as you're waking up, getting ready for school or work, this is showing about 5 a.m. tomorrow, and you see we do have the chance of scattered showers around the area. I would expect that for the commute tomorrow, you're going to be seeing some rainfall around for sure. Streets will likely be wet. I don't think we're talking excessive rates or anything like that, but definitely look for some showers, and the breezes will be picking up by the time you get up in the morning as well. South wind at probably 15 with gusts maybe around 20 to 25 as you head out in the morning. So you'll be seeing some breezy showers moving through the area during the morning. That trend kind of continues through the morning hours. I'm moving up towards noon now, and you see that the rainfall is kind of around throughout the morning hours. Looks like nothing real excessive, but definitely some bands of little heavier showers in there. And you see off to the west, this is Little Rock, back over in this area, the Little Rock area. And you see the organization of kind of a linear form of stronger showers and maybe some thunderstorms in that area at noon tomorrow. As we move through the afternoon hours, there's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And so this, I think the timing is pretty good on this. This could vary by an hour or two as we go into the afternoon. But it looks like as we hit the 3 or 4 o'clock hour, we're going to be dealing with this heavier line of storms. It's fairly narrow and it will be fast moving. In fact, the eastward motion on this line will not be as fast as the northward motion of the cells up the line. Those storms will likely be moving somewhere around 60 miles an hour to the north along that line as the line progresses across from west to east, maybe at about 30 to 40 miles an hour. And that line is going to move through pretty quickly, and by 6 p.m. you see that line is approaching or over the Tennessee River, and we're pretty much clear here in the immediate metro area. So it looks like for timing that late afternoon into rush hour, maybe as early as the time the kids get out of school and off the bus tomorrow afternoon. And as that line moves through here, there's the 4 o'clock time frame again. very, very gusty winds with that line. We're looking at sustained winds 20 to 30 miles an hour, gusts of 30 to 40, and this is the time frame that we might be concerned about some of those gusts perhaps approaching 60 miles an hour as they move through, because of the very strong winds aloft and the heavy rainfall rates just basically dragging that wind down to the surface in that heavy precipitation. You'll see as we go through the night, the line moves out, and we should be good, in fact, clearing skies as we go through the overnight hours on tomorrow night. A couple other things I will show you here. The dew points, you see we basically have fairly dry air in place down here. Dew points in the 30s heading into the overnight hours, but as we go through the day tomorrow, you see those dew points climb very quickly, especially as the rain starts to fall. It moistens the atmosphere. And the reason I'm showing you dew points is as we get into the afternoon hours, a dew point of 60 is about where we start to get some concern for the potential of some stronger to perhaps severe storms. And you see this is at 4 o'clock as that line moves across. This model does have dew points of 60 right up into the Memphis, Shelby County area. You see they're higher down here to the south over North Mississippi. That's where the bigger threat is of some of those stronger storms, but we could see a few, especially if those dew points get up around 60 during the mid-afternoon hours tomorrow. So that is the reason I'm showing that, perhaps for the potential of some strong storms. And you see as we move into the overnight hours, this drier air from the west quickly moves towards the mid-south as we head into the overnight. As far as the thunderstorm potential, let's take a look at CAPE. This is our instability index, and I'm moving through the day tomorrow and so far not seeing anything, but as we head into the afternoon hours, this is the convective available potential energy, and basically what it shows us is how much instability is in the air. And instability is one of the ingredients that we need for severe weather and for storms, in fact. In fact, a lot of this that's falling tomorrow could be just periods of heavy rain, not necessarily severe weather. This is 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. There is some CAPE back over here to over north central Arkansas, but this is actually behind all of the precipitation. The area of concern is down here to the south, and you notice here in the metro, even with those dew points up around 60, it looks like a lot of our instability remains to the south, and even down to the south, it's not very strong. This is a type of weather event we call high shear low CAPE, and basically it means we have a lot of wind energy in the atmosphere, but as far as instability, the kind of the burner on the stove that gets the atmosphere kind of bubbling, there's really not a whole lot of that. So we got this great big pot of water and it's ready to go, and we got a lot of wind energy, but we really don't have that strong instability that kicks off things like supercells and so forth. So it looks like most of the higher winds that we might get would occur because of downdrafts in those thunderstorms pushing that wind aloft down to the surface. So again, we would definitely need a little bit more CAPE probably than what is showing right here to get a real high tornado threat. So that's again why I'm not too concerned about that. Let's flip over and take a quick look at the winds just off the surface tomorrow. And I'm going to need to move this just for a second. So what we're looking at here is about 3,000 feet into the air. And these are the winds we'd be a little bit concerned about transporting to the ground during some of these stronger, heavier rain shower and thunderstorm events. So I'm going to fast forward here up to, we'll start at 6 a.m. tomorrow, and this is the winds at 3,000 feet. And so the orange color here is about 50 knots. 50 knots is roughly 57, 58 miles an hour. It is right at severe category. But again, these are winds not at the surface, but about 3,000 feet up into the air. So definitely some strong winds. These are going to be blowing out of the south, and very, very strong winds up at the base of the clouds. As we move into the afternoon hours, get towards noon, you see this is 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. As that narrow line of storms is getting closer, you see these winds picking up as high as maybe 70 to 75 knots. That's about 85 to 90 miles an hour. That's really hard to believe that we can get some kind of wind like that at 3,000 or 4,000 feet up. But this is a very, very potent weather system. A lot of wind energy in here. And so as that line moves across, if we get some very strong downdrafts from some of these storms, if we get a little bit more instability and it pushes some of these downdrafts to the ground, some of this wind could translate all the way to the surface, and that's why we have a threat of potential high winds tomorrow that could get up into the neighborhood of 60 to 70 miles an hour, because we have definitely very strong winds just off the surface. And you notice as we get to about 6 o'clock tomorrow night, that line pushes well off to the east, and the winds definitely settle down. They're still blowing pretty good, but about half of what they were just a couple of hours earlier. So definitely something to keep in the back of your mind as well. If you look up at the clouds during the day tomorrow, you're going to see those things just moving, screaming across the sky from south to north, moving very, very quickly on those strong southerly winds. That also, if you happen to have flights tomorrow during the day, especially into the afternoon hours, expect that you could see some turbulence from that as well. Definitely some pretty strong winds. Not unsafe. The pilots are trained to handle these sort of things, and the aircraft can handle that as well. But definitely something to keep in mind for tomorrow. So let's flip over and take a quick look at the forecast then. I've kind of given you the idea of what to expect during the daytime hours tomorrow. We'll take that out into the next couple of days. So for time, it looks like the showers are going to start to become likely after midnight. The rain will start to increase a little bit, and the wind will start to pick up. Our low temperature tonight of 49 will occur during the evening hours, and then as those dew points come up, the rain starts to fall, and the winds pick up. I think the temperatures are going to rise during the overnight hours. We'll be in the mid-50s by the time you wake up tomorrow morning with showers in the area. During the day tomorrow, rain and scattered thunderstorms will be very windy. Heavy rain is likely in the afternoon. Again, we're expecting anywhere in the neighborhood of 2 to 2.5 inches. Pretty widespread totals in that amount during the day tomorrow. That'll help out a lot with the drought conditions that we've experienced. The high tomorrow is 64. Winds out of the south at 22 is about our average sustained wind. We'll see gusts to 35 pretty regularly. And again, in those storms in the afternoon, those gusts will probably get higher than that. During the evening tomorrow, it looks like this rain moves out by around rush hour, maybe an early evening shower if I'm a little bit off on the timing, but otherwise skies will be clearing out during the overnight. Temperatures fall to around 52 during the overnight hours towards Tuesday morning. As we head into Tuesday, we're going to be looking at another system coming out of the Gulf, a southern stream system that moves from the northern Gulf of Mexico across the southeastern U.S. So clouds will be increasing again on Tuesday, and it looks like it's going to be warm, 70 degrees for the afternoon high on Tuesday, and again a fairly stiff south wind. That system that I'm talking about will pass mostly to our south and east. Fortunately for areas that are in an extreme drought, like parts of central Mississippi over into Alabama and Georgia, they're going to get a lot of good rain out of that system. We could see some scattered showers, maybe an early evening thunderstorm on Tuesday. Most rain will be south of I-40. We could see scattered showers Tuesday night, 50-50 chance, and a low of 51. And then we turn cooler. Wednesday, those clouds move out. The system that is bringing all this weather starts to move out of the area. We'll see a high around 60 degrees. And then as we head towards the weekend, mostly to partly sunny skies Thursday and Friday, highs in the mid-50s. Another slight chance of rain Saturday and Sunday. Models disagreeing a good amount on exactly what to expect next weekend. European model is painting a pretty wet picture for this weekend. Not good news for Christmas parades and so forth. Right now, I'll bank on the American model. We'll fly the American flag and hope that those rain chances are not quite as high. Right now, posting those is 20 to 30%, with temperatures pretty cool. Lows around 40, highs in the 50 to lower 50s for next weekend because of the cloud cover. So, last reminder that we have the MWN mobile app. Make sure that you check that out on the App Store or the Google Play Store. You're going to get the latest forecast from me. You're going to get the radar that is updated continuously. Pan and zoom on that. Satellite imagery, our severe weather outlooks from the Storm Prediction Center, all the severe weather maps, all of our social media feeds, so anything that we update is going to be going straight to the app. And of course, Stormwatch Plus in the app gives you severe weather notifications for your specific area. So program in your location. If a severe thunderstorm warning is issued, you will get it first on the Stormwatch Plus portion of the MemphisWeather.net app. Hope that everybody stays safe tomorrow. Tonight, make sure everything is battened down the hatches, everything outdoors is secured, and hopefully we get through tomorrow without too much damage, without too many power outages. I don't expect it to be widespread, but definitely some beneficial rain. I know it's going to be an inconvenience. But hey, all 13 lanes are open on I-40, so you're not going to have to worry about a whole lot of traffic on the east side tomorrow. The rain is going to slow it down a little bit, but it'll be better than it's been for the last 3 years. We'll cross our fingers and hope for that. Everybody have a good evening, a safe day tomorrow, and we'll talk to you again soon.